Now, I quickly wanted to grab your attention before we get into the video, because what I see a lot right now in the crypto trading market is that a lot of traders are trading without a strategy, without risk management. They're essentially gambling. And that is truly where I think the Cilinix Premium Group has a lot of value, because not only do you get profitable signals, trades you can follow easily, you get material to make you a profitable trader yourself. And right now we have also added indicators that I have coded myself, such as the Momentum Initiative candle, which you can see on the screen, accurately predicted new momentum coming in at the recent Bitcoin bottom. Incredibly valuable. Links will be down in the description. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on XLM. We're going to be talking about it again. I covered it Monday morning. Monday morning, XLM looked pretty good, but then we retraced the entire move. As you can see right here, I mean, we retraced all the way back to the monthly point of control here. Yesterday, after some bearish pressure and some bearish momentum slipped into the markets again. There were some, I mean, if you want to know, more in depth about what's going on with the markets, and that also happened early last week. That was one of the key reasons why we saw bearish pressure then. It's basically liquidity issues in the United States, or at least that seems to be one of the key reasons why we are seeing that bearish pressure. And that also flared up again yesterday to a lesser extent, which is why we did not see the bearish momentum we had at the beginning of last week. But still, that is what went on. But ultimately, what you cannot deny, and that's also why I wanted to make a video on XRP and XLM today again, is that XRP and XLM, I'm bundling them together because historically they're quite correlated. Sometimes XLM outperforms, sometimes XRP outperforms. That happens. But they are relatively strong. I mean, XLM, as you can see right here, has been the strongest performing crypto. If you like XRP and XLM, since yesterday afternoon, have been the strongest cryptos, and a lot of that was in the Asian session, and there just seems to be a lot of momentum. Stellar, fundamentally, there's not much going on. I mean, the TVL is very stable. That is a good thing, I would say, since July 2025. And there's also been, strong growth. Since the beginning of 2025, TVL has gone 3x. That matters. Stablecoin market cap is 260 million. That's good as well. However, there's no fundamentals outside of the XRP ETF, which indirectly also helps XLM, but I haven't yet seen any credible XLM ETF applications. Like, that helps. Is that enough? We're going to see, okay? Because there is momentum. There are signs of outperformance. That is great. There are signs of Bitcoin forming a local bottom as well, but those are very minor signs. So the main thing I'd like to see is that XLM is kind of knocking on the door of this major resistance level, which is around 31 and 30 cents. You can see on the higher time frames that is extremely respected. If you zoom in, like the more you zoom in, the more respected it gets. It's very much at level around, like I said, 31 cents. And then if you zoom all the way into the 4-hour time frame, what you can see is that 30 and a half cents. We have the 30-day rolling VWAP. And that is also the value area low of the previous balance we had before the beginning of last week, when those liquidity problems pushed us lower. So that is what we need to break above. Until we have broken above that, like, yes, there are signs of outperformance, but the volume, the momentum is not high enough for me to say that we are going to break out, right? So sometimes, when there is a lot of momentum and the price is rallying towards a significant resistance level, I will say, I think it's most likely we're going to break out, and I think it's most likely we'll get back into that balance. I think the momentum is too low for that. So therefore, I'd say, also if you zoom in on XLM, which I will do for you right now, you can also see there's a lot of imbalances to the downsides. I would say short term, it is more likely for XLM. I'm going to delete this trend line. It doesn't really work that much anymore. I think it's more likely that we are going to push into resistance, and then if we get very good news today, so if there's no liquidity problems, if the inflation rate data is much lower than expected, then we could break out. But for now, I think it's more likely that we'll reject, we'll fill those imbalances, we'll stay in this consolidation, and unless something super bearish happens, I think we are going to break out later. I just think in terms of timing, a breakout right now seems less likely than a breakout after filling the imbalances to the downside, and after hopefully we have a little bit more clarity and a little bit more stability when it comes to those fundamentals. So then I'm mostly talking about liquidity problems, right? Because liquidity problems, even if they're not here today, they could still come about next week. And until we have a longer period of no liquidity problems in the United States, then I think fundamentally, or at least the fundamentals are good enough to expect breakouts again quite easily. Until then, no way. So those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know regarding XLM. If you do have any questions, of course, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.